First, I thought it was a good win Wednesday night. Thought we played complimentary football, especially proud of the way our defense played, especially in the red zone. The fourth down stop in the red zone was critical, and obviously the blocked field goal. Proud of the way our offense played in the fourth quarter, that 10-minute drive, touchdown ceiling score was obviously big to put the game away. But there's a lot of things to improve on, a lot of things that we got to work on this week, and started last night in practice. Offensively, we got to sustain blocks on the second level. We're letting too many linebackers run through and make tackles. We got to be more disciplined in our pass game, whether it's the quarterback going through his progressions or our spacing. Defensively, we got to improve in our 2-minute defense, and then special teams, our coverage units weren't up to the standard that we've set for the first 4 games. And so there's a lot of things that we've got to improve on, and we need to do that in a hurry. We've got a very good opponent here coming up this week. I think ULM obviously leads the Western Division. They scored 52 points on us 2 years ago, and so they have our full attention. We know we're going to need a great week of preparation and focus to meet the challenge on Saturday. And so with that, I'll open it up for any questions you might have.
Eli, with the top 25 ranking, how do you let guys be excited about that, and where does that kind of fit into just letting them process that and then moving on from it?
It doesn't have anything to do with our goals. Our goal is to win the Sun Belt Conference Championship in a bowl game with class, integrity, and academic excellence. It doesn't have anything to do with being ranked. It doesn't have anything to do with outside noise and focus. So for us, that's just a distraction. The same people that pat you on the back for I learned this a long time ago. The same people that pat you on the back for being in the top 25 are the same people that tell you you had a bad play call on third down. So it's really not a focus of ours. It has nothing to do with the game. On Saturday, they don't give us 24 extra points because we're ranked. So, like I said, to our team, it's nothing.
So, do you let guys be excited about that, or do you not want to? You just kind of want to see them not really even acknowledging it in the first place?
It's a non-factor for us. We don't come in here and high-five each other because some outside influence said that they think we're in the top 24. It's week 5 of the season. It doesn't matter until you get to the end of the season, and that's what I've told our team is any accolades that we accumulate throughout the season don't matter until we have the end-of-the-year banquet. So whether they get excited about it or not, I think myself and the coaching staff and the leaders have reminded them that it really doesn't matter because last year when we were ranked for 5 days. So it's not something that we're focused on. It's not something – we acknowledge it for recruiting. Our university acknowledges it, and that's all fine. But within this room, within our locker room, like I said, they don't give us 24 extra points, so we're not really worried about it.
I think you guys have been very successful in the red zone so far.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to ask you, what do you think are the essential things that have to happen, or the essential things that you have to have in place to be successful in the red zone, like you guys have been so far?
Well, one, I think it's a compliment to the offensive staff for the plan that they've put in place. I think it's a compliment to our players for executing. I think anytime you're successful in the red zone, it goes back to your execution. And we pride ourselves on practicing the red zone probably as much as anybody else in the country. But when you get down there, there's 2 things we talk about. One is you got to run the football to win, and we've been able to run the football successfully. And then you want to take shots and make competitive plays in the end zone. And I think about the touchdown catches we've had down there. They've been competitive catches that our guys have gone up and made plays for. So those are the 2 things really.
Last thing for me, Raekwon Anderson gets a few carries in the Louisiana game. How does he kind of figure to be? Does he figure to be part of that room going forward? Be part of the running back room going forward? And I guess why was he a guy to throw in the mix there?
Yeah, you know what? Raekwon's an explosive athlete, a guy that's dynamic with the ball in his hands. We knew when we recruited him that he was a guy, played some high school quarterback, and he's got electric speed. So we had played him in some of the slot positions before. We thought it might give us a little bit of a wrinkle, them not thinking he's more of a tailback by lining him up in that slot position. I do think he's going to we do plan on playing him this year. I think he's going to fill a role for us in the running back room, and I do anticipate him getting more carries in this upcoming week.
On that last long touchdown drive, Louisiana was really crashing hard to the inside running lanes as you would expect them to. Did it take a little bit of maybe discipline on your part to say, at some point I'm going to call Zach on this boot run, and you could have had it probably earlier in the drive. Was there a particular condition, field position that you were looking for and said, I want to save this until I really play that card?
No, I wanted to score on the first play of the drive. I wish it didn't take us 19 plays, to be honest with you. No. We'd called some quarterback runs. I think there was 3 other quarterback runs on that drive. From a more of a zone read standpoint than just a naked. So, but no, it wasn't. We were keeping it in our back pocket. It was just that was the time it came out.
Spoke with Jordan Fair, and he was talking about the defensive performance. Obviously, you mentioned him in your opening comments. He made the comment to me. He felt like they kind of turned the corner maybe a little bit from performances through the first 4 games. Could you, maybe elaborate a little bit on his thought as to how you've seen that unit progress through 5 weeks or through 5 games at least?
Well, I think I've been consistent with saying that it's going to take a little bit of time for us as coaches to adjust to the scheme, to adjust to our players' strengths and play to those strengths. And we were replacing some really good players on the defensive side of the football at some key positions. And so we had to get those guys confident and comfortable within the scheme. I do think you've seen a group that's become more cohesive. I think they've done a nice job, especially in this last game, of running to the football and playing with more effort, which was great to see on tape. I don't know if we've turned the corner. We'll find out Saturday. We hadn't played very good defense at home, to be honest, and so except for the week 1. So hopefully we've turned the corner. But just like I've tried to caution everybody, let's not say we've arrived anywhere yet. All right, we've got a lot of work to do, and each week it starts completely over. You got to try to be 1-0 this week, and what you've done in the past gives you confidence, but it doesn't guarantee success this week. So we need to get back in the film room, study their schemes, understand our keys, destroy blocks, run to the football. We should play with more confidence, but we got work to do. They've got an extremely talented quarterback. They run tempo. This guy had 52 points 2 years on us. I believe it was his first start. So let's hold we've turned the corner talk until we prove it this week.
Nothing you can do to control scheduling, but by the time you get to Monroe game day, you will have played 4 games in 42 days. Then over the next 42, you're going to play 7. From a continuity and chemistry perspective, does knowing that, hey, we are going to be playing week to week to week going forward, do anything to help you maybe stay in a better groove or create more consistency?
We've tried to be routine-oriented in how we've prepared each week, and, this is how we prepare within 5 days of the game. So hopefully we can just lock into that. The thing I worry about more than that, whether it's 4 games in 42 days or 6 games in 42 days, what I worry more about is just the depth in sustaining through injuries, recovery, nutrition. And so we're going to really rely on our athletic performance, on our nutritionist, on our strength staff, on our training staff to make sure that we can get these guys' bodies right, make sure we're giving them all the nutrition we can give them, and make sure that they're keeping their bodies as healthy as possible. I think that's going to be the biggest key. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be staying in routine, but it's going to be about making sure that these guys eat, sleep, and prehab and rehab as best as possible.
Talk a little bit about the ULM defense. What have you guys seen as you've gone through and studied them?
I think they do a really nice job of forcing turnovers. 21, the corner is first in the conference in interceptions. I think he's 7th nationally. Has tremendous ball skills. They put him in one-on-one situations. He does a great job going up and get it. Very first play against Iowa State, gets a really nice interception. Does a nice job against Texas State. They're very multiple on defense, multiple fronts, multiple pressures. They change up coverage. They do a nice job of forcing you into things that you don't want to do, just based off numbers. So I think they're a real test. Obviously, they're the best team on that side of the division right now. So it's going to be a real challenge. Both of us are 2-0 in the conference and trying to continue that momentum. So they're a really good defense. And like I said, the best thing they do is force turnovers. And the best thing we've done so far is not turn it over. So one of those things is going to bend in this game, and we got to make sure it's in our favor.
Coach, first off, sorry for being late.
Didn't even notice.
You kind of touched on it already, but kind of go deeper a little bit on their offense. Are they they like to throw the ball? They like run the ball? Or they
Well, I think they're a pretty balanced offense. Their quarterback's dynamic. He's got great feet vision, throws the football. They use tempo to control the game. You know, they can go fast. They can slow it down. They primarily play out of 11 personnel, but will mix in some 12 personnel and 10 personnel stuff. Scored had 600 yards and scored quite a few points versus Memphis. Had 30-something points, maybe it was 40-something points versus Florida State. So, and that's an extremely talented defense, you know, having gone against that in the past. So, got a lot of respect for what they do. They've been in the system now. I think their coach does an outstanding job. And there's a total understanding of the schemes on both sides of the ball. They're very complementary. You can tell the head coach is in charge of all three phases of the game, and you can see his identity and his fingerprint in the entire organization.
I don't know if you touched on this before.
Carl's calling. I don't know if anybody needs to.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just silence it.
You guys are just scoring a lot of points and then kind of slowed down a little bit against Louisiana. Was it them so much? Was their defense that good, or?
I think it was two things. I think I was too conservative as a play caller, and I think field position kind of dictated that. I think we ended up with only 4 possessions in the second half. Obviously, a 10-minute drive at the end of the game reduces your number of possessions and opportunities to score. But I do think I was a little bit conservative when you go back and watch the tape. Probably too committed to establishing the run game and not taking advantage of opportunities on the outside and letting our playmakers and trusting Zach with the ball in his hands. So that's something I can grow from. And but we did what we needed to do. The one thing that I was constantly in my mind was our defense was playing good. We were backed up, and I didn't want to change the game with a turnover. You know, I thought as long as we didn't turn the football over, we would stay in that football game as long as we didn't give them any momentum. So that was one of the things that you battle. As the head coach, I was proud. As the offensive coordinator, I thought I was too conservative. So it's one of those deals.
Those 19-play drives, though, they can win a football game for you.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we won the game, and obviously as the offensive coordinator, I'd like to score more than 17 points. As a head coach, I thought it was perfect. So just one of those dual deals I have to fight. You got the offensive coordinator on this side and the head coach on this side.